I don't know if you guys knew this, but the US military has had just a little bit of a problem with its soldiers going on social media accounts and posting things they shouldn't. But this problem isn't limited to just soldiers in the US. That's right. Insight from Ukraine and Russia has been stalking our friends on social media. I'm kidding, of course. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. But Russian soldiers on social media. So here's Insight. Of course, we're going to be checking it out. As always, you guys should check out his channel. The link is in the description of every one of the videos. And you should become a member. It's the best way to support his channel. I'm actually already a member. He gives out a bunch of cool perks, but mostly it's about supporting him here in Ukraine.
Considerable amount of time on Russian social media website VKcom and found a bunch of accounts of actual Russian soldiers who are in Ukraine right now.
Okay, so this is fascinating for a couple of reasons. First, VK.com is like a Russian alternative to Facebook. Let's see if we can go to VK.com right now. I'll show you guys what you get when you pull it up. Welcome to VK. It looks like a mobile app. You can log in. Let's see if we can get like a VK screenshot. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like it looks like a Facebook clone, actually. It very much looks like there's profiles, there's data, pictures, kind of about me. In fact, it looks like a straight Facebook clone. And this is probably done because the Russian regime is pretty hostile to open flows of information. They work really hard to control information and media within the country. So having Facebook itself in that country would allow things like free media to get access. It would allow people, it would prevent the Russian government from being able to control where the data is stored, how it's handled. It would prevent them from shutting down accounts of politically problematic individuals like Alexei Navalny. So that's why basically VK is it's not like the Facebook of Russia. It is literally a Facebook clone. We are a year into this war, and it seems like Russian soldiers and officials still can't protect their phone signals, especially when those signals are transmitted over the internet. But honestly, it's never been easier for bad actors to hack any info that's transmitted online. That's why I wanted to talk about today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Grab the big deal now because Atlas VPN is just $199 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your privacy and get the many benefits of Atlas VPN for this ridiculously low price. You can get this deal by clicking the link in the description below. But be quick, it's a limited time offer. Atlas VPN acts as a digital tunnel, preventing bad actors from hitting you with ads, malicious links, and it notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. As a bonus, Atlas VPN can give you access to content not available in your country, like certain shows on Netflix or Hulu. It can also let you compare price deals on things like airlines or hotels when they may be cheaper in different currencies. A VPN can also help keep your Google searches private. Oh, and Atlas VPN protects unlimited devices. So grab the big deal now because Atlas VPN is just $199 a month and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your privacy and get the many benefits of Atlas VPN for this ridiculously low price. And you can get this deal by clicking the link in the description, but hurry because this is a limited time offer.
Even though most of them just post their pictures, I still found some pretty interesting stuff that helps break down their mentality.
Okay, these are actually, he's just putting up these like rando B-roll pictures, but one, guys, put your Facebook on private. Okay, but I want to look at what these guys got going on. First off, this looks like some sort of behind the lines type of figure. He has that striped shirt that I've only ever seen worn by the VDV and Naval Infantry. But you notice he's got what looks like an AK-101 or maybe an AK-74. No optic, just a radio. You notice these are Gorka pants, a very old school style of Russian military uniform, and then he's got more modern camo. So again, it's a sign that these guys are relying on mix and match for their uniforms. They don't really have quite the uniformity you would expect. It also looks like this guy might be doing some sort of traffic control or military policing type function, because you notice he's got a Z denoting the invasion force, and then he also has, of course, a light on this car, and this looks like a basically civilian car that's been repurposed into a patrol car.
Who are in Ukraine right now, even though most of them just post their pictures.
This is also really fascinating. This guy is obviously holding this Soviet era flag. I don't know what it says, but I know that a lot of Soviet era iconography is being rolled out in this conflict. And the reason is because ultranationalists in Russia have a very strong affinity for the Soviet era. And Putin, not accidentally, has a very Soviet style of leadership that he practices. And again, not an accident. He wants these back in Soviet times, back whens, guys, he wants them to feel like he is trying to bring back the good old days. Ironically, of course, these good old days were just before they were adults in most cases. So the adults that actually lived through some of those Soviet times sometimes have slightly different opinions of the regime. But yeah, we see a lot of this iconography, especially in places like the Donbass. But you can see here too, again, a camo t-shirt, fatigues, just a lot of mishmash gear.
I still found some pretty interesting stuff that helps break down their mentality, their motivation, and just to understand their point of view. So please watch this video till the end. For example, this guy, whose name is Nikolai, served in Russian airborne forces, and also he most likely was a mercenary in Wagner Group.
Okay. So this is pretty interesting. Let's back. I want to take a look again. Sometimes you can get some real insight into these posed gear pictures. You can see he has what looks like a plate carrier. This might actually be a real plate carrier. This guy might, it's tough to say, right? After, it seemed like around month 6 or 7 of the conflict, Russia stopped issuing actual level 4 body armor. Level 4 body armor, of course, can stop a standard assault rifle round, and I believe some full-size rifle rounds. And that is a huge problem because you notice it protects, of course, the most vulnerable areas on the human body, right? You can survive a wound in many of these other locations. Not always, but there are very few ways to survive the heart and lungs being penetrated with a fast-moving kinetic object. I'm trying really hard not to get demonetized, YouTube. So being able to protect this area is important for soldiers in any country. But Russia's problem is that after a while, it became too expensive. They couldn't produce or purchase the material required to manufacture these protective plates. So they replaced them with thin pieces of aluminum that don't stop anything. And so they just sort of become symbolic. They just sort of become feel-good pieces, which is sort of silly, but because if you're not going to get protection from them, then you would want to just get rid of them because they're just dead weight.
Forces, and also he most likely was a mercenary in Wagner Group.
So you can see here, this is from early February. Dude's got a selfie, but look at this camo pattern. Very interesting camo pattern. This looks like woodland BDU, but it's not the U.S. military style. It's a slightly different style, whereas the plate carrier is multicam.
In March of 2022, he posted this image that says, "Our time has come," after which he was trained and sent to Ukraine. What's interesting about this guy is that most likely he's already been to war. Here's his post from 2019 that clearly shows that he has PTSD and the war is the only way for him to feel alive.
They may be thinking, Paul, how did he get PTSD in 2019? Well, the answer is if he was really a member of the Russian airborne forces, then he most likely would have served he could have served in the Donbas region, which has been a separatist conflict since 2008. He may also have served in Syria, where a large contingent of Russian forces supported the Assad regime and sometimes engaging in direct fighting. But in all likelihood, it's probably from those two possible instances. It's also possible, but not very likely, that it was from some sort of peacekeeping mission.
Nobody returns from war. Never. Mothers receive only a poor substitute for their sons. Angry, aggressive animals fierce toward the whole world and believing in nothing else except death. Yesterday's soldiers no longer belong to their parents. They belong to war from which only their body has returned. The soul was left there. You start to live. Firstly, because it just happened that you're still alive. You get no...
This is, okay, here's what I'll say. I don't know this guy's experiences, but I will tell you from my experience, the soldiers that posted long, dramatic missives on Facebook like this, sometimes they weren't the ones who had the hardest experiences. Not always, but sometimes. There's a certain type of person that loves this level of like drama. It's sort of like the army or military version of like the anime fan who's just like, master, let me go all out just this once. I'm going to try to find it for you guys actually. Because it's, yeah, there you go. It's called the Master Forgive Me meme. This is, there you go. Thank you, know your meme. It's just, this is exactly it, right? Like just, they really want their heart to be a cool badass. And that's why they love this like high drama stuff. Again, you notice in interviews, like Jocko even Jocko, who has a real combat record, that is unassailable, or like Mike Glover, they don't talk like this, right? Despite the fact that like, even if maybe they believed it, it's just like, they keep it to themselves because they're professionals.
No happiness from life and treat it like a bonus that fate gave you by stupid mistake.
Like again, he's not wrong. Like these are things that if you've read All Quiet on the Western Front, you understand this, that war is just a luck game. Like a little bit of training, you should train, but like at the end of the day, there's no amount of push-ups you could do to beat an IED, right? If it's your time, it's your time.
But then you get used to life. You start to find an interest in the game that's not real. You make yourself look like a full member of society. The mask of a normal human being gets attached successfully, and the body no longer rejects it. And people around you believe that you're the same as others, but nobody knows your real face. And
okay, the second part of this, he's actually a little right. This second part is okay. The first part is he's right, but dude, you don't have to post it on Facebook is basically what I'm saying. And you don't have to post it like a cringe lord. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. But this second part's true. Like, listen, there's a different part of you that exists in a war zone. And it's a part of you that you live in the most like real, for most people, it is one of the most real and intense experiences of their lives. And it's hard to go from a real and intense experience to a less real and less intense real world. And a lot of people cope in a lot of different ways. The unhealthiest way that I have found is you try to chase that military-like thrill, that combat-like thrill again and again. I think that's pretty toxic because you can't. And you end up putting yourself in danger, or you become like the gun nut. It's just, or you take these like private security gigs that aren't the same. It's just a recipe for disaster. The best thing that I've found is to do something else. I went to grad school. I lived in Brazil. I just got out of Dodge, you know, and like slowly over time, right? Like I did sort of become a full member of society, but you always remember that person that you were, if that makes any sense.
Nobody knows your real face. And
again, this is like this dude probably did actually serve in combat. He's just, but like you could serve in combat and you could still be just a cringe lord. I don't know what else to tell you. The enemy doesn't discriminate. They're not like, hold your fire. That man is cringe.
Real face.
Sorry, I have to take it very seriously.
Nikolai is just a soldier at war. And I bet he doesn't care if it's a righteous war or just a plain invasion of a sovereign country. The next soldier, whose name is Igor, is very different from Nikolai. On February 24th of 2022, he posted that he received summons from the enlistment office.
Okay, I want to. No, that's like a Soviet era soldier, right? He's got an AK.
He was mobilized by DPR. In March of 2022, he was given this old gun, and
holy smokes, guys! This is a Mosin Nagant PU sniper from World War II.
Commented that everything seems to be fine. Then in December of 2022, his mood changed dramatically. Here is what he posted. It's been 10 months since the moment me and my guys were mobilized in DPR. The number of soldiers keeps dwindling. Time flies and no one longer waits for the mobilization. Firstly, we got to the Zaporizhia region, and not long ago we returned to the rear, trained, and now we'll be transferred to different units. Sometimes I have a feeling that the demobilization will come only when most of us are crushed, and no one cares that you've been home for 3 nights, 1-2 times in 10 months, or that you haven't been home at all. Okay, we'll see what happens next. We hope we'll make it to the demobilization. And here is
the thing. Yeah.
His last post dated 31st March of 2023. Tomorrow is April 1st and we're still mobilized. There are less and less guys left and no one knows if he's going to make it till the demobilization. We keep believing for the better and that they won't keep us here forever. Not every.
Damn. That's, again, this is why I talk about this, man. Like, this dude didn't have a choice. Yeah, he posted some, like, cringy stuff on Facebook, like, no doubt about it. Look, this dude from the picture is, like, substantially more geared than him. Yeah. Just, like, again, and you can't fault somebody. They're kids. You know what I mean? This is just what kids do. This is how kids frame it. And, you know, he probably doesn't understand that this is not a, this is a weapon from 2 generations ago. It's just, and this is like sad, just to, you know, just over a year, didn't have a choice, got drafted, got given an old out of date weapon and just like was sent, never going to come home, you know? It's crazy.
Culture is like eager. Some of them are really happy to stay in Ukraine and they don't understand why people don't support them. Just like this Sergey, who's a soldier from 9th Regiment of DPR, he actually believes he serves the Soviet Union, and it seems even his family and people he knows don't get why he went to war. Here's what he posted about it. I was clearing my phone contacts again. I was deleting all those people asking why I'm at the front, because it's just a game of politicians. I'm tired of...
Damn. You know it's bad when, again, even the regular Russians are just like, guy, this is not what's worth dying for.
Repeating that it's a fire in our common house. And if you live on top floors and the smoke doesn't reach you, it doesn't mean that the trouble won't get to everyone and that you don't need to do anything. The only thing I can tell you is that people...
I mean, this is sort of sad. It's just this like... It's always interesting because it's like war in a lot of times makes people like more cynical. I definitely left Afghanistan like certain that the US's ability to affect change in the country was unbelievably limited. And to see this guy believe the like, oh, the terrorists are going to come get us. It's like, bro, those terrorists aren't going to get you. What are they going to do? Catch an American Airlines flight out of Iraq? They're going to fly from Kandahar to LA? Like, come on, guys. But that was the propaganda back then. That was the government's talking points. And, you know, I would understand if he was like, but these soldiers are here and I have a duty to my country. And but you can't say, like, it's easy to say that in a democracy, right? Where it's like, listen, you may not like the war, vote for better leaders. For 20 years, the American public could have put anybody they wanted in office, and they didn't. They put in people who were going to continue the wars. And so, like, I take pride in the fact that every one of these MFers voted for it. I showed up and did it. Did I make a difference to Afghanistan? No, the Taliban are in charge again. Iraq is dominated by Shias and Iranian interests, and it's just, yeah, we didn't do anything. Like, I'm not deluded. Sorry, you can dunk on me in the comments, but like, if you weren't there, like, tell me we changed a fundamental aspect of Afghan culture for 20 years of being there. But like, you got to have a better justification than this like belief that there's some sort of pervasive, but this is what maybe he's just a really right-wing guy, you know, and he believes that like Western degeneracy is going to like consume Russia and Ukraine. I don't know.
People I talk to,
he won't be alone if he thinks that,
are real and trusted. The war filters out unnecessary stuff. Honestly, I'm happy that most people in Russia are just trying to stay away from this war. And of course, they don't support soldiers in any way. I could tell it by how poorly Russians donate to the needs of the army. For example, one guy whose name is Yaroslav was trying to collect few millions rubles to buy vehicles, thermal imagers, drones, binoculars, and all that stuff. But in 1 month, he only gathered something about 27,000 rubles, which is only $338. But still, there are those who truly hate Ukrainians. Those are the most scary type.
Okay, wait, I want to back it up real quick. Let's just do a little math. So 27,000 rubles. What's that going to buy you exactly? In USD, sorry. Oh, buddy. Damn, that's rough. 335 United States dollars. Yo. Okay, also, let's just check the ruble to dollar. 80 rubles to a dollar. There's the exchange rate. You could see it tanked. And then the ruble actually went to like an all-time high. Not an all-time high, but a 5-year high. And then it's kind of tanked again. And it's basically back to stable, basically back to what it was trading before. But remember, people are like, a currency that is worth a lot relative to the dollar. It's not the same thing as like a high demand currency, if that makes sense. It just reflects some like international trade back and forth. And like a strong ruble like this makes it hard to purchase exports. Imports are very expensive. And that's definitely the case for Russians.
$338. But still, thanks. There are those who truly hate Ukrainians. Those are the most scary type of soldiers because it's them who commit war crimes. Just listen to what this soldier Toma posted when the war began.
Не будет вас больше. А то улыбались, Россия такая. Вот. Чтоб вы, сука, поздыхали.
Yeah, I think if you guys take anything away from this, it should be that soldiers are not like a myopic group. I like in my platoon, I had so little tolerance for this because but we were all MPs, right? Everybody signed up there to be a military cop, right? So like we didn't go in there with like hate in our hearts. Like, can you imagine being an MP, right? You're policing your fellow soldiers. So like no MP would sign up and be like, oh, I hope I get to smoke somebody today at work. Like, no, nobody thought like that, right? It's different. They're all soldiers, even when they're screw ups. And so like we brought that perspective, right, to, Afghanistan as best we could. Now, obviously, there are some things where you're just like, I can't even talk about some of the stuff. There's some things that are so culturally different from us in the West that it's sort of, it could be hard to like. Their treatment of women, for example. Sometimes they're I'm trying to think of how to not get demonetized. Just if you want to punch into Google the Afghan culture of boys between the ages of 10 and 15. They have normalized different experiences than we would allow in the West. And those things make it hard, but I would never say that what I felt like came close to like hatred or hoping that they would like be KIA, right? They were civilians. They were living a life. They were in a culture that I didn't understand, and I realized I was never going to change. So you just try to get by, But these people exist in every military. Guarantee it. Eddie Gallagher. Excuse me.
Мирное население, это, конечно, тут ни при чем. А вот эти националистские...
For people like him, probably anyone who doesn't accept Russian passport is like a Nazi who has no right to live.
You're going to get me demonetized, Insight. Come on, bro.
Now, another type of Russian soldiers, I'd call them forever enemies because they fight against Ukrainians and they already lost someone at this war. Just like this guy, it's Alexander. He lost his son at this war. By the way, he also was a soldier. So even after Ukrainian victory, they won't believe that they fought for illusion. Their brains just won't accept the fact that they lost close ones for nothing. But sooner or later, they'll have to do so. I hope this video was insightful and that it deserves to be shared. Thank you for this.
Yeah, this is actually one of his most interesting videos. And this is just tragic, man. I mean, I can't imagine being a father, losing your son in a war, and just being able to, but everybody's got to cope with it somehow. And this is like a sad way to cope. This is just unfortunate. It's like, it's a circle of violence. We sometimes talk about it, but it's like guys like this support more violence. And it's like, if seeing the war itself firsthand, and if this dude was an old soldier, he may have served in places like Chechnya, right? Like if you want, a bad time for the Russian military were the two Chechen wars. And you look at this and you're just like, why? But what can you do, man? Like I said, in a lot of ways, these guys are all like cut from the same cloth.
I hope this video was insightful and
yeah, I think in a lot of ways, these guys are cut from the same cloth because they all have been subject to different sorts of propaganda that have convinced them, one reason or another, that they can or should be involved in this war, whether it's by force, direct force, like you will show up, you will enlist, whether it's by brainwashing, basically, by filling their heads with propaganda, whether it's as a coping mechanism for that father who lost his son. It's almost like immaterial whether they know they're being coerced or not, if that makes any sense. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, and check out all the links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.